How you guys doing? You all right? I'm going to be really honest, guys. I really don't feel like doing this live stream because I don't enjoy it the same way that I do the events in person. But I push myself because I know that the live streams still help a lot of people, and there are some people that can't make my events because obviously people live in different countries, and that's just the way it goes. And it is good to push yourself to do things when you don't feel like doing it. So I hope you guys have had a good day and you've been enjoying the videos that I've been uploading. I had a really great day, very gruesome, very challenging. I went to the gym twice. I just kind of spent my whole day being disciplined. Got back, had some healthy food, been doing a lot of YouTube videos, and been doing a lot of client coaching sessions. So really am living a dream, but at the same time, it's not easy. It's challenging, as some of you may know or you may not know, and I'll get into that a bit later on in the stream. So I really want to start off by speaking about anxiety today, as anxiety is the common problem on this channel. Guys suffer with anxiety, social anxiety and life anxiety. And if you know my story, I battled with anxiety all my life, and I still experience anxiety and fear just the same as everybody else does. But the difference is I've got a lot of confidence because of experience. I guess the success I've built, the failures, the challenges, and changing as a person, which hasn't been an overnight thing for me. This has been over the course of 20 years, and I'm really passionate about confidence coaching, transformation, motivation, success, self-discovery, personal growth, and all these other things. So I've told my story many times, and I never get bored of telling it because there's so many different things that I can talk about that can inspire people. And many people have been through the things that I've been through. So if you've got any questions during the talk, you can ask me questions anytime. Like I said before, I can't even express my gratitude for how much I enjoy doing the events in person. The events always go well. Even when I was doing just free meetups during the times where I wasn't working in COVID, they were really great when we had that period where we could meet, and over the years. But now they're just going great. So I have an event as well this Sunday coming up. You guys are very welcome to come. It's free, and that's why it's been very challenging doing these live streams, because it's not challenging and it's on a computer, and I just, quite frankly, I don't really enjoy it. I don't really enjoy spending more time on social media, and the live stream format for me, it's not great because it's just me speaking, and people come on on the machine, and it's not the same as when you're in person with people and you can actually build real connection. So the connection isn't great, and that's the reason why I don't enjoy it, and it doesn't challenge me like public speaking does. But like I said, I'm here, I'm doing the best I can, and a lot of people say that they get a lot out of my live streams. But like I said, at the same time, it just can't compare to meeting in person and doing events. They're just two different worlds. So yeah, now it's always the areas where everybody doesn't want to look at, they don't want to talk about, and they don't want to face. And I've been like that myself, so I speak from experience. So diet and training, unless you're doing it and you're getting good results and you're in shape, most people don't even want to open that conversation. And that's just that's part of human nature. That's part of I'm reluctant to use the word because it gets used all the time, but that's part of the ego, I guess. People don't want to hear the truth because it reminds them of what they're not doing, and it triggers them, and it can make them feel bad. I'm not here to make people feel bad. I'm actually here to make people, face their fears so they can feel great. So obviously, I only speak to people, I only coach people that want the coaching. They want to improve. They want to hear what I've got to say. When I first started out in this area, I was no different. I didn't want to hear people talking about success and dieting and doing public speaking and making money and living the best life, because I wasn't living that type of life. I didn't have the courage at the time. I was too insecure. I was too jealous of other people that were successful. So I didn't want to hear the truth. I didn't want to hear these things, so I would avoid it. Or if someone was to try and open this sort of conversation, I would have been defensive. So I understand why people are like that. Human nature can be very stubborn, but I also have that super optimistic optimism from how many people that I've helped and seen them transform. And because I was able to change, it gives me such a great confidence, and it's my passion that any of you can change if you're ready and you're willing to set goals and commit. It's pretty easy once you're committed. If you're not committed, and we all know what that means, if we really want to do something, we're going to do it. But if we kind of want to do it, but we're not willing to put the sacrifice and the time in, and we're not willing to come outside our comfort zone, then we're not going to do it. Fear's going to compromise our dreams and our goals. So dieting and training, you're welcome, man. You're always welcome. Dieting and training is very confrontational. Sorry. Dieting and training is such a confrontational thing when people are not doing it. And as I said before, so, okay, let me reflect on it. So like I said, it's always the obvious things that people know what to do, but yet very many people don't do it. And you can ask yourself, why is that? And the obvious answer is because it's difficult. I was speaking to a friend today on Instagram. He's doing amazing, and he was saying to me, he's doing great in his business. He's coaching, he's helping people, but he said to me, it's uncomfortable. He said, very uncomfortable, Jonathan, but he goes, I love it. That's the only way to be successful and help his clients. I said, absolutely. He asked me how I am. I said, the same for me. I'm living a dream. It's very challenging. I've chose it. I'm not complaining about it. And it's uncomfortable and it's necessary. And it's the only way to be successful. So dieting is uncomfortable unless you were brought up by your parents and they introduce you to healthy eating, that's all you've ever done and that's all you know, then it's going to be the norm for you. But for most of us, we weren't brought up on a good diet. I wasn't. I was brought up on mostly unhealthy eating because, that's just kind of the norm to eat unhealthy. So to change your diet, you've got to change a big part of yourself. You've got to work on areas. You've got to work on your shadows. You've got to work on your insecurities. But when you do these things long term, you feel great. You really do. So it's the obvious things that build confidence and help you to transform. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I was listening to a talk by Anthony Robbins and Ed Milet, and everything they were saying, pretty much, I agree on it. I've said it. I live it. My friends have said it. Successful people, they pretty much say the same thing because they've come to the same truths that have been around. Healthy diet, goal setting, thinking positive, looking at situations that most people would give up on and say that's negative and finding positives, working hard, getting mentors, being positive, having awareness, reflecting on how you can improve, controlling yourself, just working on being better. It's the obvious things. But where my coaching comes in, I know why people don't do it because they're scared to do it. Now, within being scared and afraid, you could say, why? Well, it's painful. No, most people don't want to experience pain. Everybody wants pleasure and comfort. So eating chocolates and candies and going on Netflix and avoiding people and avoiding events and public speaking and, and risking asking someone out in case they say no and hurt your feelings. People don't want to do that. People want to hide away, but then at the same time, people complain that they're miserable, that their life is unfulfilling, and they don't enjoy their job or their friendships and all those things. And, it's all a consequence of not taking action on your insecurities. So in any first step on any journey, you have to have humility. You've got to be humble, otherwise you're not going to change. So it starts off by saying, I have insecurities. I have things about myself that I don't like. And these are the things that I'm insecure about. And these are things that I don't like, but I want to change them. And I'm committed to changing them. You have to start there. If you don't start there, you're not going to transform. And for me, it took me about 15 years because I was a very proud person. I was very insecure, very stubborn, and so afraid of other people hurting me and judging me and just so ashamed. So it was very hard for me years ago in the mindset that I was in to say, insecure about so many things. I'm not happy with who I am. I'm not happy with the way I live. I'm not happy with my life. I feel like a total failure. You know, I had to go through a lot of panic attacks and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. What the thing that helped me was when I started to hear the truth from people like Les Brown. You know, obviously also things that my mum and dad had told me, my grandma, you know, just people that just want the best for you and give you general, mature life experience. They give you advice, sometimes friends. And I realized I was my own worst enemy, that blaming other people was never going to change me. I was never going to fix myself like that. And it was such a relief to just admit that and say, you know, I've got a lot of issues because of bullying at school, you know, things that people had done to me that weren't right. They weren't honest. It wasn't fair. But nonetheless, me being a victim was never going to change my life and get me happy and stuff. So it was like, you know, I don't socialize much because I'm scared of people and I'm shy and I'm awkward. I don't go to the gym because I'm afraid of it. I eat bad food because I'm afraid to be disciplined and look at my diet. I don't want to face that shadow. I had, I guess funny, I had so many fears, you know, I was even afraid to just admit these things to myself. So having been in that place, I understand, you know, I really do understand how people are feeling. And I do have compassion, but at the same time, it's very dangerous if I just feel sorry for everyone and just say, you know, just continue. It wouldn't be kind. It's not fair. I started a box fit class in a new gym, going great. It's hard. I realized how unfit I have been. I still struggle with my diet, but that's humility. Well done for admitting it, Frank, and well done for doing it. And I say it again, you know, well done for coming to the event that I run. I really appreciate it. As I said, I really admire your courage. Continue with it. You know, you've made a lot of progress, and that's a beautiful thing. That's where I'm trying to get more people to, where Frank's humility, saying, look, it's challenging, and you've got to be honest. Yeah, you've realized that you're not as fit as you thought you were. Same realization I had. So now you can change it, and in a few weeks' time, you'll be fitter, and you will get there. Awesome, man. You've already made my day now. I've made your day. I can't wait to see you at my event Sunday. I'm so pleased you're coming. So I have a real passion. I really want to help more people that are good people that are struggling with the anxiety, the depression, you know, the diet, all the things that I struggle with, and help them to make progress. You know, I've been working with my client, quite a few clients. I've got to tell you about this guy. I've been working with my client, Philip. And I mean, where do I start? The guy is just super brave. Like, the guy works his ass off in every way. Like, he has fears the same way all of you do. But the progress he's making is just fantastic. And sometimes I ask myself, why can't more people do it? Why are more people not like my client, Philip? Like, what's going on here? Like, what is it? And I've come to the conclusion, having spoke to him and really understood him more, and obviously getting to know him more and helping him, because I think some people just don't want it bad enough. Like, they haven't got to a point in their life where they can't take it no more. And I hope people can hear my words and not misinterpret them. Look, it's not nice. I don't want people to suffer. I don't want them to go through what I went through. But the reality is, most people have got to get to a point where it's rock bottom, and that's when they change. You know, I weren't going to change until I got to rock bottom. I wasn't happy, but I was miserable, depressed, and in an awful place. It was just the worst place I was at, but I was content because it was comfortable and it was safe. And I knew what was going to happen most of the days. It was a routine, but I hated it and I didn't like myself. When I hit rock bottom, Peter, I'll tell you the exact age I was. Hold on a second. It started at around age 23. But when I hit 25, big time rock bottom, that's when I started getting these really strong thoughts of killing myself. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the truth. And that's when I actually said this out loud, and it was like a great affirmation that was personal to me. Maybe some of you will relate or help you. I said, I can't take this anymore. I remember I was in a small place in Fulham. It was a shoebox, like in the Rocky movies. And the area was nice, but it was a dingy place. It wasn't nice. And it was dark. It was depressing. It represented where I was. And I said, I can't take this no more. I can't do it. I'm just sick and tired of being afraid and being depressed and being afraid of everything. Can't do this no more. And I cried because I was listening to Les Brown. At the time, I didn't even know who he was. And it motivated me. And that's when something changed in me. You know, I still had to go out and face my fears. And that's when my life started to just get really exciting. And I just had that feeling, I had that genuine feeling of love and support. And I just felt like I think things are going to be okay. I had a warm feeling that it's going to work out. Yeah, again, I appreciate it. Listen, it happens to all of us. If people are being honest, which is hard for people, I understand it. You know, everybody occasionally relapses and watches porn, and that's a big part of the challenge. But the fact that you've got the courage, and you're not going to be judged here, certainly not by me, because I've done it many times myself, and I'm really working at it, staying away from it. So that's what you've also got to do as well. None of us are perfect. We do make mistakes, but you just got to own them and admit them and be honest and work at, being disciplined long term. So what was my point? I guess really what I'm trying to say, what I'm hoping to do and continue to do on this channel, I want to make a bigger impact. Fair enough. I appreciate you guys being honest and admitting that, because I know that's not an easy thing to do. But all successful people have struggles, and real humility and character is admitting it. And I've also got to be very careful because, like everybody, I have an addiction to it, so I have to not watch it and stay away from it. And I've really been working at that. Can talk more about that to you guys if you want. I'm going to do more videos on that. I was actually going to make this live stream today on the topic of not masturbating, not watching porn, but I decided to do it on diet and anxiety. But I am going to do a video on that because it is a challenging thing for a lot of people, especially in today's world. So, on a second. So yeah, I'm going to be honest again. My goal is to not really have to do too many of these live streams, even though I will continue to do them as they help people. But I want to encourage people. I can't force people. I can't do that. But I want to encourage more of you to come to my events in person. They're free. They are really relaxed, non-judgmental environment. See for yourself. It is poison for me, but dare I say, I'm nearly recovered. Well done, man. Stay on it. And I think the more that we can speak about these things, the more we can overcome them. And I'm going to talk more about that in the video. I will cover it. But again, I really do appreciate you guys for having the courage to admit it. You've just got great character. That already shows me that you guys can make a lot of progress. I think that says a lot about a person when someone can be, it's very easy to talk about the good things. Everybody can do that because that's safe for everyone. But it's not easy to admit these things. And as I said, I've had all these struggles along my journey. When I was in that place of rock bottom, I was addicted to porn. I had an addiction to, I'm not ashamed to say it, I've said it publicly before. I'm proud to overcome it. But at a certain time, I had addiction to escorts. I used to pay prostitutes regularly. And I mean that respectfully. I don't want to disrespect any woman that does that. But I had an addiction to it at a certain time because I was in such a bad place. I was so lonely. I was so depressed. I was, although in some areas I was grateful. I was a postman at the time, and I really appreciated my job. So I had a full-time job that made me feel good. I was living with my nan, who I absolutely love to bits. My nan means everything to me. She's the most amazing person I've had in my life. But outside of that, I had some friends, but I was lonely, and I was, I didn't have the confidence to speak to women. I had really low self-esteem. So going and seeing Prostitutes for me was like a release. I wanted that love and that affection from women, and it became an addiction. And I'm really thankful, thank God, that I was able to overcome that and beat that addiction. So again, I wouldn't judge any of you. I wouldn't judge guys for having addictions in these areas with porn, masturbation, and escorts, because I understand. I've been there myself. It's not easy when you're struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. But the good news is, you can beat it. I've done it, and if I can do it, other people can do it. And I think there's certain things that you need in place to overcome it. And I'm not just saying this. Well, it's a free event. Come into events, and listen, it's not just about coming to my event. If you guys just go to any community of good people, if you go to these things like this, they build your self-esteem. When I think about, maybe I should talk about it more on this channel. I know a lot of you would appreciate it, and I'm starting to realize it's tempting sometimes. It's human nature, because people like myself who have been successful, who have come from such a struggling place of being just feeling down and not good enough, when we finally arrive and become successful, we want to tell everyone that we're successful because we've been beaten down, and we want to prove to everyone, and it's a nice feeling. But as I'm getting more experience of teaching and working with clients, I'm starting to realize, and what's helped me, obviously in the right context, that I think it really helps people when we share our deepest, darkest insecurities and our struggles, because then you feel like, oh, I'm not on my own. If he went through that and look where he is now, I can do it. So these struggles, this is something that I'm still coming to myself, and listening to someone like David Goggins, who I appreciate so much and has really helped me, and I know he's helped millions of people. The way that he owns his insecurities and his demons, and the way he changes people's lives, and yeah, the success he's achieved is amazing. Those marathon runs, losing 100 pounds, becoming a Navy SEAL, a speaker, an author, all these things that he done, overcoming the abuse of his dad, and all those things are amazing. But the strength that the man's got through admitting the deepest insecurities that he has had, that helps people more, because 100%, no struggle, no growth. Love Goggins. Goggins is brilliant. He's 10 out of 10. I was having a chat with a friend, and we both said it's just my opinion on him. Anybody that doesn't like Goggins, or just jealous, how can you not like someone like that? Okay, you don't have to like everyone, but how can you not respect someone who has come from where he's come from, and become, just got a good heart and helps people, is a genuine person? Just you can't knock that. If you knock that, then you're just jealous. It's just, I don't know. Really. Appreciate everyone on this live stream, by the way. I'm actually starting to enjoy it a bit more now. As I said, guys, it's not personal with any of you. It's not down to you guys. It's just the format. I'm not a massive fan of the live stream, because I'm more of an in-person person. And I think because I've been teaching a lot now, thank God my business has picked up after what I've been through. I'm just want to say, grateful for that. Because I'm doing events and I've been traveling, meeting friends, and spending a lot more time with my family. I love it. I'm used to being with people in person. So when I go from that to the machine and the live stream, it's not the same, to state the obvious. But at the same time, I am grateful for the technology, because it still helps a lot of people, and it does allow me to reach people and to speak to you guys. And I guess there's a certain connection. And the good thing is, some of you are going to come on the stream, and I do understand it is nerve-wracking, depending on how you feel coming to events. But you're going to come to my event, and the events will fill up. So I don't want people thinking that I'm not grateful for the support, because that's totally not true. I've been so grateful throughout the whole time. People have followed me. People have followed me through thick and thin. You guys have followed me through the good times and through the really bad times and somewhat in between. But I'm just raising a point of saying that in person is so much better than like this. And I like my events because I get to hear everybody else speak, and not just, even though I love speaking and I've got a passion for it, I I get a huge buzz out of speaking, and then everybody else gets to speak. We all get to speak. Everyone gets to add their opinion. So that's why I found it quite challenging, and I guess as well because you know I spend a lot of time like everybody else on social media. I am getting a lot better at balancing it between in person. So that's the reason. And to be honest, and I don't mean this to be smug at all, it doesn't challenge me when I do these live streams. It doesn't frighten me. It doesn't give me that nice natural feeling of anxiety and pressure. And that kind of tells me that sometimes that's when something isn't great. But like I said, it's helping a lot of people, so I try and do them when I can, and I suppose it is a good tool. I don't know how you guys feel. Let me know. I think that's the hardest thing for everyone in general. The hardest thing about changing your life, facing your fears, and it's challenging for me is patience. It takes a long time. You know, at the same time, you can make big changes each and every day, but it's human nature to be impatient, and it's not an overnight thing working through these things. And people will often ask me, how long, excuse me, how long does it take to overcome social anxiety? And it's like, it depends. It depends on if you've got a mentor, how much work you're going to put in, how you're feeling, what's going on in your life. So it depends, but mostly it's a lot of work. Yeah, 100%, Peter. That's a beautiful balance. That's what keeps brave people going, and that's what kept me going. And I had a conversation with my client Philip. We speak about that. What you said, that beautiful balance. Maybe there's a contradiction, but I find there's contradiction in truth with excitement and anxiety, fear and excitement. When you feel the two, it's a wonderful thing. What's not nice for people, what people don't like, is when they just feel fear. They just feel terrified. They feel so overwhelmed that they're so scared that they just, get paralyzed. I'm not massively into the supplementation, Timmy. I just eat, a balanced, healthy diet as best as I can. Fruit, veg. I eat my fish, veg, pasta, chicken, tuna, brown rice, brown roll, water, protein bars. But yeah, it's something that I would be open to look into. But yeah, as I said, I am really, really so excited about the events because I've been enjoying them so much. And I think I said it to you on the video. I forgot how much I enjoy events and being around yourself, guys like yourself, and it's just a great connection. And what's good about my events as well is we got people that have been following me coming, and there's also new people, which is nice that don't know me from YouTube, and they come from the platform Meetup. So I like the balance of meeting new people because I like meeting interesting people and hearing their stories. I love that. That's one of the things that I actually are passionate about, and that's probably why I also love my job. I love coaching because I get to really. Now, I said this to a client. This is really meaningful for both of us, right? I had a client a few weeks ago. He come over from America. He's from LA, and he worked with me for 3 days. He done one of my high ticket programs, young man, and we had a great time. And I've said this before. It's always difficult for me when people travel over and work with me, and we have these meaningful times. It's always a little bit awkward and difficult for me to say goodbye to them because I'm human, and my client appreciated that. And we said some kind words when he left off. We finished the coaching. We really connected. And I said to him, we've got to cherish these times because I don't even have some of these conversations with my own family, who I love dearly. Like, these conversations and these mentoring sessions, some people don't even have these conversations in a 20-year marriage. So it's really meaningful, and that's why it's a beautiful thing. So what was my point? So back to my point, people tell me the stories. It's amazing, and that takes a lot of courage. I always respect all my clients that do that, and I guess the reason why, one of the reasons, is because I had the guts to tell my story, and it takes a lot of guts to tell your story, as my mentor Jeff says. Because if we tell our story and we're being honest, we've always got to talk about. We've always got to talk about things that we are not comfortable with, things that we're ashamed of, things that happened in our past. But at the same time, these are the things that make us who we are. And obviously, we can also share the good bits. So you can't really leave these things out unless you're not going to be honest, and you're just going to, I'm not really into that stuff. You can't make progress like that if you don't have a foundation of honesty, especially if you're working with a coach and you want to make changes and move forward. And I realized that at my journey. Everybody starts off wanting to be successful, but they want to alleviate, opening up and not being judged. And I want to go this way, I want to go that way, I want to avoid discomfort. And you hit a brick wall, because you start realizing that if you're here and you want to go here in your life, you can't go from here to here without telling the truth about your struggles and your insecurities, and then you can fix them and explain to people, well, I was here, these were the issues that I had, and the anxieties and the addictions, and now I've beaten them, now I'm here. Or maybe it's a case where I'm still working on things, still struggling with some things from the past, but I'm still living a great life. Any successful person at some point has to come to that point. Otherwise, they can't get to where they are. Certainly, if you want to inspire people, I couldn't help anybody. I don't think anybody would take my coaching and follow me and listen to me if I didn't admit to lots of issues that I've had, and insecurities and things that I'm still not fully comfortable speaking about. But it's the right thing to do. Otherwise, you can't help people. They can't trust you. They can't relate to you. So that is a huge part of building confidence and self-esteem. The dieting, the training. I know you might think, well, you've gone on a big tangent, but they all connect. Because if you want to improve your diet and you want to train and get in shape, you are going to have to work through a conversation about yourself that you're not comfortable with, in order to get to a conversation about who you are, how you feel, that you are comfortable with. So we've got to work through all the darkness, all the negativity, all the insecurities, all the defense mechanisms, all the addictions. We got to fight through these things if we want to live the best life possible. And that's the only reason that I transform my life and live an amazing life. Obviously, it's still a challenging life, but it's a life of meaning and purpose. And that was the sacrifice that I was willing to make in order to get to where I am, and make money and have a business and change people's lives and do live streams and live fearlessly, live a life of, constantly building confidence and constantly challenging myself. So, an honest conversation can really help you to get from A to B. But obviously, it does take a lot of courage. You are going to feel scared when you do it. You are going to have to work through thoughts like, well, what will people think about me? Are they going to judge me? And you've got to get to a place where you don't care, where, like, a healthy place where I got to, where, yeah, of course, there's a part of me that cares what people think about me, because I'm a human being, but I still do it. I don't care enough about what they think about me to stop me living my dreams. I continue, especially to help my clients. So the conversation is very, very important, and it is worth it in the end. It really is worth it, 100%. Unless you want to stay where you are. And that's why lots of people remain stuck in a rut. They're remaining rock bottom. They remain stuck in their addictions and their anxieties, because they're not willing, well, first and foremost, to tell the truth about who they are and where they want to get to, and where they are. So, this work isn't easy, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted, but it's definitely worth it when you do it. The rewards are second to none. They're fantastic. But it's gruesome, It's monotonous, it's boring at times, it's lonely, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it's terrifying, but it's equally beautiful, it's satisfying, it's very rewarding. It's also the opposite of lonely at times. It's very connective, if that's the right word. You have great connections. That's what happened to me. It was a long period of just being disconnected from everyone and myself because of where I was and being trapped in my fears and my anxieties and my addictions. But when I broke out of it, when I do connect with people, whether it's a client, a friend, a mentor, or someone that's on a similar wavelength, the connection is really strong. It's very honest. Money can't really buy that. So connection is an important part. So the self-esteem and the confidence is gained and built by facing the insecurities. And a lot of people, like everybody says, well, this is the life that I want to live. I want to have a nice house, or I want to be confident, or I want to travel, or I want the right relationship, or I want to lose weight. Everybody loves that part. But very, very few people like the part when it's like, okay, you want that. Well, are you ready to face your demons then? Are you ready to look at yourself? Are you ready to go out and face your social anxiety? Are you ready to face your public speaking anxiety? Are you ready to face your financial anxiety? Are you ready to face your addictions, your porn addiction, your unhealthy eating? Because if the answer's I'm not sure, no, then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to grow as a person. And when I say successful, I don't just mean like making money, having a house, cars, followers. I mean, it could be that for some people, but I mean successful in becoming the person that you want to become and becoming confident and having the guts to own who you are and tell the truth about, the bits that you're proud of, to show your talents and your successes, but also to not care, to have the guts to share your story. So, this is the real question, and these are the answers, and all these things encompass how to beat addiction, anxiety. So for me, training and dieting it's a platform to sharpen your tools, to develop a better character, amongst obviously being healthier and being fitter and having more energy. You guys are welcome to add or ask any questions. So that's why I'm putting up, many videos on boxing and training to motivate and inspire as many people as I can on this channel to go to the gym and train and get that lovely feeling, get that confidence, get that experience. That's really what it is. People need experience to transform. Like, people have to break out of the negative experience that they're having daily, that monotonous routine of waking up, doing the same things, or being stuck in the same job. And I would say, one of the most destructive addictions out there, I personally believe it might even be even more destructive than bad eating, porn, masturbation, and the other sort of addictive behaviors. In my experience, the most destructive addiction is the addiction to being in your comfort zone and not taking action. Like, inaction never, ever ends well for your mental health and your self-esteem. You can't change if you just don't act, and you don't communicate, and you don't go out and move forward. And if you just stay like that, nothing's going to change for you. So you really have to get to a point where discipline is a must. And I'm a huge believer in that you have to have a purpose in life. Or if some people don't understand what that means, you need a goal, you need a reason, you need a vision. You need something to motivate you beyond your fears and your insecurities. You need a reason to suffer. It's suffer in the way of growing and being a better person. And funny enough, a lot of people get fixated on money and fame and things like that, and nice clothes and all, but those things come anyway when you work on yourself and you become a better person, especially when you're more thoughtful and you want to be kinder, you want to help other people, you want to lift them up. Those things generally come as a consequence. They just come anyway, but obviously they're not going to come without hard work and struggle. So people honestly need to break out of that naive thinking that, I can have all these nice things. I can be a confident speaker. I can be the best version of myself, but without struggle. It's like, I don't know anyone on planet Earth who has achieved anything of any significance without struggle. And if they say that they did, I know that they're lying and they're not being honest. Yeah, I think that's what would motivate people. People got to realize that the satisfaction that you get from being more disciplined, and I'm not just talking about with having a healthy diet and training, although yes, it's that, but I'm on about being disciplined to confront your fears. The more you confront your fears and face things and get uncomfortable, what you get after what you experience is priceless. But the consequences of staying in your comfort zone and being scared and not being accountable and being lazy and procrastinating and not taking responsibility and blaming other people and not pushing past your success barriers and your fear barriers and your insecurities, it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible existence. It really is, because it doesn't get better. It just gets worse. You just get that awful feeling. And I don't think anybody likes to feel that they're not good enough and depressed and frustrated with themselves. So I always think about that. I weigh up the pros and the cons. What are the consequences for me not going to the gym long term? Not great. What are the consequences of me not going out and facing the social fears that we all have? Not great. What are the consequences of me holding myself back and not using my talent to inspire and transform people? Really not great. What are the consequences of me not facing my financial fears? Not great. You know, what the consequence? They're not good consequences. Inaction is one of the worst addictions out there. And the comfort zone, in my experience, is the most dangerous place in the world. It's because that's where all dreams are destroyed. And when you're on your own for too long and you're isolated and you're stuck in the comfort zone, that's when the demons start building momentum. That's when you get the bad thoughts and the emotions. And that's when these things come on really strong. So I really want to, I know you guys are smart. I want to make you aware today of the kind of red flags so you can overcome them. Peter says, for me, the discipline of physical work mirrors with improving my social insecurity. Knowing you've put in work gives you confidence. 100%. That's exactly what it is, Peter. It's that, it's exactly what you said. It's a confirmation. You feel confident because you can justify it. You know, and you can't build confidence on a foundation of lies. David Goggins, right? I agree with him. I said the same thing. You can't just wake up in the mirror and go, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm everything, I'm positive, I'm reliable, I'm hardworking. If you're not doing these things, then they're all lies. So it's good in a way because you can't cheat this. You have to do the work if you want to get to a confident place. You know, so that's wonderful that you know that and that you're doing that. These things are important. So obviously you need a certain amount of intelligence, and I'm not talking about book intelligence. I'm talking about life experience awareness. You know, understanding the patterns of success, understanding the detrimental effects of not being accountable, of not taking action. Evening, guys. Pleasure to see you, Fred Blogs and AD123. So today we're talking about facing our insecurities in order to build confidence and be better in life in any area. Diet and training is a metaphor for confronting that difficult conversation. You know, the conversation that we had at the start of the stream, I really appreciate people talking about their addictions and having the courage to admit these things, as I did when I shared my story, and I continue to be better. So the conversation that says, I don't want to talk about diet. I don't want to talk about diet right now. I don't want to talk about training. That's the opposition that you've got to get past to be successful. Or I don't want to talk about finances. It makes me insecure. You've got to get past these things if you want to improve your finances. Or I don't want to speak about people, relationships. It makes me feel ashamed of my anxiety. You've got to get past that and say, actually, although it makes me ashamed or it makes me feel any insecurity, I'm ready to look at it. I want to improve this. I want to build confidence. I want to grow. I think I answered that question for you before. I told you, I said that already. I think it's a choice that is down to you. Everybody's in different situations, so speak to a professional, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a professional on medication. That's not my area of expertise. So I'm not really going to speak on that. But you've got to make your own decisions on that. I'm going to speak on what I am an expert in, and that's building confidence and facing fear in this area or in any area, pretty much. So, like I said, the first start is, it's actually, it's not a failure. It's it's nothing to be ashamed of to admit and say, you know what, my diet sucks and I want to change it. That's the champion. That's the start of all success. But some people can't get to that point where maybe even say, yeah, I've got an addiction. I want to break my porn addiction or my masturbation addiction because it's sabotaging my whole life. It's affecting me. It's keeping me in a pattern. That's a champion's heart to start there. Obviously, you've got to stick to it and do it if you want to be successful. So I guess what I'm saying today, in order to build confidence, we've got to do the difficult things that most people don't want to do. And we've got to have those difficult conversations that most people in their life don't want to have. And a lot of that is admitting, it's confession. And when you do it, although you may feel, I don't want to do this, it frees you up. You get more confident. So these are a lot of the things that I do at the events that I'm running. By the way, guys, just to let you know, I've started doing events in London. They're free. They're confidence meetups where we meet up in a group. We go for it. They're amazing if you've been to my events, and I've got one this Sunday. So you're welcome to come, guys. Just let me know if you want to come. We're going to meet outside Covent Garden Station at 1 o'clock. The event's 2 hours. We go for a coffee in a nice hotel, nice place. It's a relaxed environment. It's non-judgmental. It's positive. It's super friendly. And it's in person. You're going to gain a lot of confidence. I'd love you guys to come. The last 2 events I've run have been brilliant. I absolutely love them. And as I've said, it's way better than the live streams. So let me put this into perspective, right? Most clients, and I know I had this problem, who are suffering at the moment, a big part of their suffering is they're not socializing enough. They're not going out and meeting people because they're scared of people. They're scared of social interaction, which I understand. If you avoid, I don't know what that noise is. Someone's deciding to drill at this time. That's a bit annoying. So if you avoid social interaction, then you're going to go into your addictions. That makes sense. You are going to eat bad food. You're not going to go to the gym. It's more likely that you are going to watch porn. You are going to masturbate because, you're avoiding that area. Yeah, that's another good affirmation. I appreciate that, what Frank's done. I get my clients to do that, where you've admitted to a fear of swimming. You don't feel ready to do it yet. So that's fine. Well done for admitting that. And at some point you will face that fear, you will overcome it. Wow. Someone's doing it at this time. It's a bit late. My battery's running low as well. I plan to do an hour today, so we're getting close. So yeah, so the avoidance of not socializing is always going to create an addiction, because the pain of not connecting with people and going out and meeting other people and coming out of your own perspective, that's going to eventually drive you into your addictions. So the way that you overcome addiction, in my experience, in this area, is by socializing a lot. And the great way to do that is coming to free events, meeting like-minded people, going to the gym, training. The training just gives you so much confidence. I would say if you do boxing consistently and weight training and you diet and you get in shape, it makes you more relaxed to then be around people. And then the confidence that you gain from being around people and the training, that momentum, that gives you the confidence to go and live your dreams. Does that make sense, guys? So everything affects everything, either in a positive or negative way. People are crazy drilling at this time of night. I don't think that's your fear, right? Is it Frank, or is it that? Is the fear of drowning, or is it just the fear of going out and swimming in public? I had that fear as well. I had the same fear you did. I overcome it. It took me 3 years. My fear was, my fear was of not being able to swim in the deep end, and also just not being comfortable swimming around people. So I worked it for 3 years and completely overcome it. So yeah, that's another relatable fear. That really did change my life. So I'm excited for when you overcome it. All fears do. When you overcome any fear, it's life changing. I think that's again, it's just simplifying it. When you face fear, you feel amazing. When we avoid our fears, we don't feel good, and the avoidance of facing fear long term has a catastrophic effect on your mental health and your self-esteem, and it creates addiction. So most addiction, I'd say, if not all, I don't say this smugly, most addiction originates from people not facing their fears, whether that's a conversation with someone, whether that's gym, socializing. It's always around these areas. And it's the absence of human connection and talking to people and giving value, which everyone has, which creates addiction. I want to charge this laptop, sorry. I did say to myself that I will end this live stream around the hour mark, unless loads of people come on. But even then, I will, because it's been a long day. Yeah, a lack of hobbies will also do that as well. Tell me more about that. That's very vague what you said, but I appreciate what you're saying. Maybe I can help you more. Why are they drilling? I feel like they're doing it on purpose because I'm doing the live stream and they don't like what I'm saying. Funny things like this happen a lot. Whenever you live in places, sometimes people just don't like hearing positive messages. Not everybody, obviously. Maybe it's not that, it's just coincidence. It is a bit late though. I'm going to complain. Drilling at 10 at night. Any of you know the laws on drilling? They're taking the mick. Yeah, a lack of hobbies will definitely do that. I'm actually, it's been great doing this stream because it's given me ideas. You guys have helped me to make more videos to help more people, to really educate them on the red flag areas of not facing anxiety and how that creates addiction and how you get stuck in a rut. One thing I've learned to do though through a positive mindset, let's say that I get a challenge like this, right, which isn't the biggest challenge, where people are just being I don't know, they're just being unfair. I'll turn it into a positive. I'll put it into perspective. Like someone making a bit of noise, it's not going to last forever. Obviously, they don't have manners because I wasn't raised like that. My family, we wouldn't start drilling at this time. So I just turn it into a positive and don't let it break my spirit. And training gives you that mindset. That's why boxing's so great, because it builds mental fortitude, it builds mental toughness. And it helps you to deal with things. Yeah, I got fired today. Oh, really? Well, you can turn that into a positive. I know that's not nice, but sometimes that can be life changing. People don't always see it like that, but yeah, that's well, hopefully you're not. I hope that you're not suffering too much, but that can be a real motivation to change. And at some point, it happens to all of us. We all get fired, or we get. Everybody has disappointment. It's how you deal with it. That's the warrior's mindset. And training and dieting helps you to deal with challenges more in a more positive way. But yeah, have a look at. I'm sure you guys are looking at the fitness videos. My bigger goal on this channel is to get as many people to train and get them in shape for them to do it. Because what it's done for me has been life changing at many stages of my life. Oh, really? Well, hopefully now you go on and you'll pursue your dreams, or you get a better job, or you'll learn from it. It seems like you're going to do that, and that's the best possible thing that you can do. I'm going to do more videos on that, and that's why I started doing business coaching, because I know what it's like. I've been there. I've done many jobs that were just they weren't nice jobs. Didn't enjoy them. And I went for a whole journey. I think one of you asked me, I'll do a video on that. And I've never spoken about it. Well, maybe not in detail publicly on the channel, but the amount of jobs that I've done over the years to get to what I'm doing now, which I love, it hasn't been an easy journey, but it's amazing things to speak about. It would help a lot of people on this channel, and I could break down, what I was feeling, how I got out of those jobs, how I make more money, how I do what I love. And now I've got a program in my business coaching where I coach people and help them to start their own business. Yeah, guys, I'm going to call it a day today. It's almost an hour that we did. I've got the free event where we're meeting on Sunday. So if you guys want to come, let me know. And I'm going to spend a couple of hours tonight. I'm going to upload new videos that I've done. I'm really working on the business and the message, and just going to relax. And I'll probably listen to some of the David Goggins. He's brilliant. So I appreciate you guys coming on. And I'm sure you got a lot out today. There's a lot more said on this. I've covered a lot, but it still feels like there's a lot more to cover. As you know, these things take time. You've got to put a lot of work in. So, I'm not going to cover everything in an hour. But yeah, it was great to see you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Keep working on your fears and your confidence. And I'm confident that all of you will come to the event and join us. We'll have a great time, all right?